everybody. Welcome once again to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Russ.
And I'm Chris.
And this is episode 207. 207, guys. Hey, happy Yule, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that other stuff.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa. What is it? Good Festivus? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what Festivus is.
Festivus
for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us, exactly. It is Tuesday the 22nd. It is right before Christmas, obviously.
And just after Yule.
And just after Yule, yep, correct. Yule was yesterday. Also the solstice, for those of you guys maybe not be aware. We are officially into winter, and now the days will be getting longer.
And the days are getting longer.
And
Leon's getting larger.
Oh man, we saw the same shit growing up. Another kind of interesting week for a lot of things in nerddom, a lot of crazy shit going on in a lot of different places, a lot of different things to talk about. We're gonna be touching on a number of things. First, how was your week, man?
Pretty good. First, I'm gonna say hi to CD. He said hi already. So
yes, hello CD. Yes.
My week was pretty good. I mean, I was in training all last week, so that was cool. I got to learn a lot about wireless. And then Friday night we had our game, our very long game this time. We went way late, but it was cool. You guys actually fought your first kind of boss, sort of.
Yeah, our actual real boss. I mean, we had fought some end of the level kind of end of
mini
the
bosses.
Dungeon kind of mini bosses and stuff. And it was funny because we never came close to dying or getting our asses kicked or anything. Not really. This time around, man, that Bodak was nasty. I mean, it wasn't too bad once we closed on him and stuff, but shit. That attack he had, we were fighting a Bodak. Which is essentially an eyepiece of Orcus, the demon prince of the undead. And so we were when we walked into a which was essentially a temple of Orcus, I damn near shit. I was like, what? What? And my character's a paladin and is built for fighting demons and undead. And so I was there was part of me that was like, yeah, let's get it. And then I was like, oh fuck, we might have bitten off a little more than we could chew here. So, but we ended up surviving, thankfully. We ended up living. There was a couple people went down.
Three out of the 7 went down total. Yeah. But like Renee was saying in the chat there, that the wizard that was there KO'd 2 of the group in one shot.
Yeah. There was another wizard, and honestly, technically, we didn't win so much because the arch villain got away. So I am guessing
he barely did anything, actually.
Right. I'm guessing that he will be a reoccurring pain in the ass. And
you think?
Yes. He and his succubus partner.
Yeah, she got away too. After stealing a kiss from the bard from Phelan.
And 21 hit points. I really wanted a piece of that ass, that succubus too. I really wanted to take her out, man. But Rich is here too. Hey, Rich, It was stressful and exhilarating. I'm glad that I was able to come in for the end. I did come in late because of work. But could you imagine if Morph failed that Bodak gaze save? No, that would have been fucking rough, man. Basically, this Bodak's gaze has an attack because you have to save, and if there's a number of different effects that happen.
No, there's only
damage.
2.
Oh, was it 2?
Yeah, there's
psychic damage.
It's either you make it and you take I think it's 3d10 psychic damage,
right?
Or you fail and drop to 0 hit points.
Or you getting walloped by Clim. And yeah, that's right. And then Klimbrum got charmed, and she smacked the fuck out of Eucharia.
It was a good fight. Good.
Yeah,
lots of stuff happened.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and like I'm looking forward to actually being able to be there for the entire time.
And actually, looking on Twitch, we've had 40 views. Now I don't know how long people have watched, but that episode has gotten 40 views, so that's actually kind of cool.
That's really great. Hopefully, we'll get some more follows out of it. Hey, we're up to 34 followers.
Yeah, we got 2 followers on Friday, so
that's great. So
that was the highlight of my week. Other than that, it was pretty much just a standard week. I'm back to work now. Short week. I'm on call. So,
well, I was at the holiday stroll in Canterbury again.
Yep.
And in fact, I will be. It was a long, cold weekend. I tell you, man, working outside in a costume that is not built for working outside is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got like as many layers under the costume as I can fit without where I can still get the costume on.
I'll say still without looking like your Arnold Schwarzenegger elf.
Yeah, without being like stuffed buddy, So I mean, we go in and we warm up when we can, but it's still not easy. So it's fun. I've been having fun. Don't get me wrong, but it is also kind of like yikes, kind of tough. So. But hey, guys, I will be there. There will be one more night tomorrow night, and then they're gonna it's talked about extending it to Saturday and Sunday as well. I'm not gonna do those nights. I think at that point they've already said the temperatures are gonna drop way low.
It's not, I think Christmas is supposed to be like a high at 24. It's like the coldest we've gotten so far.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, they said something like Christmas Eve is gonna be something like 50 degrees. And then like tomorrow is going to be like in low 40s or high 30s. And then like Christmas Eve, like something like 50 degrees or something like that. And then Christmas itself, like 25 degrees. I'm like, fire.
Yeah.
I'm making it's not a bad payday, but at the same time, we're still being underpaid for working outside in these conditions during a pandemic. So, but it has been a lot of fun. Playing Buddy the Elf has been very entertaining. So yeah, if you guys going to check that out, I think we have posted pictures in the feed of me in the goofy costume, and at least in previous episodes.
And a previous episode I did, yeah.
So,
which is funny. Renee and I were driving around the other night and went, "Hey, look, it's Russ!" And there was somebody had a blow up a Buddy out in their
yard. Hilarious. But yeah, that was what I did Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's definitely draining. Like it's really,
dude.
You playing a very high energy character for several hours in the cold, and trying to stay warm and trying to be like up and everything. It's
I have trouble just being out in the cold now. If it gets really cold, I can't be out for too long, or it really starts to affect me. I understand why people retire to warm areas.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when I started going down to Florida for the Bay Area Ren Fair, that was when I finally learned. Yeah, this is why people go down to Florida for the winter months, or snowbirded or whatever, or move down there permanently. It's the winter months are much more pleasant.
The winter months are, but the summer is so miserable.
The summer is difficult, but it's like what Scott Mullen would say is the natural habitat of the Floridian is air conditioning.
Yes.
So I mean, the summer, just like in the wintertime, we stay indoors more. The summertime down there, they stay indoors.
Well, that was the thing.
Although it is a little more comfortable to be outside during the summer there than it is the winter here.
Yeah. Well,
you can strip down and go to the beach.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. When I lived in Louisville, I enjoyed 3 out of the 4 months of the year. Spring, winter, and fall were fantastic. But summer, I stayed my ass inside because it was like 90 with, triple digit heat index.
Right.
A lot of times. And that was just too much.
Well, speaking of Florida, I still haven't gotten the official, we're not having the festival yet. But more and more as we progress through the weeks, and haven't heard anything from the fair. I haven't heard anything on the Facebook page or anything. It's looking like I most probably will not be going on to Florida this summer or this season.
That sucks.
It
sucks, but it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
I understand it sucks for you, but for us and around here, having you around still is.
definitely easier on the show and stuff like that. It'll be easier on Stella with the dog and everything. Speaking of the dog, I got to go and get him. He's outside. Stella's not, she went grocery shopping, or she went to run a couple errands too, and I just realized I put the dog out, and then we started the show. So at some point in the next 15 minutes or so, I'm gonna have to get up and let him in the house real quick. So anyway, thanks to the gate. So yeah, I'm unless something
wasn't there a spot in the fence that you found?
No, we blocked Cinder blocks are my friend. So anyway, so unless something changes rather dramatically, I doubt I'm going down to Florida. One of my friends posted that, he was really bummed out because he's moving to Vegas and he wanted to be able to perform one more time at the Bay Area Ren Fair, and it's not going to be pretty much not going to happen. But it's just kind of a bit of a bummer. But I really enjoyed. I mean, hopefully next year we'll be back to normal, be able to go down again, because I really do enjoy performing at that fair, and hopefully I'll actually be able to do more on the performance level as maybe Oliver Ogre, and we'll see. Also, I just got some news. I was on the phone with my parents while I was at the grocery store, and my parents have decided to move back to Michigan.
Oh.
Well, my dad's not doing great, and he's probably not going to get much better. And so they would prefer to be closer to family. And they will probably also snowbird it and, drive back and forth and maybe stay with my grandparents in the winter months. But at least for, because the winter is really hard on my dad. The winter cold temperatures are very hard on my father. But they still want to be closer to my nephew and my sister and I, and my dad with his health kind of degrading even further and all these other things. So, it's I got really upset with my parents because they kept moving so much. I mean, they'd moved into a house. They lived there for 18 months down in Florida. They moved into they sold it and moved into a different house. And then they, they've been moving around so much in the last 20 years. It's just been crazy. I'm just like, can you pick a place and stay there for a while? But now my mom was, don't drive off the side of the road and don't freak out, but we're going to move home back to Michigan. And I'm like, look, I get it. You have my support. I'm not going to lose my mind. So there's that. So my folks will be moving back to town.
Well, that's good, but I'm sorry to hear that your dad's not doing great. So,
well, he's been fighting his illness for over 20 years now. So this is an ongoing thing. He retired when he was roughly my age. I think it was in his mid 46, 47, and had to retire for medical reasons. And he has, for those of you guys who don't know, my father has something called mitochondrial myopathy. Which is essentially the mitochondria in all of his cells is faulty. So because of that, he has a lot of energy issues. He has a lot of problems with energy production and whatnot. But it can cause organ failure, can cause a lot of various problems throughout the entire body. It's a genetic It's a genetic condition. Thankfully, I don't get it. I don't have it because it's passed from mother to son, not father to son.
I was going to ask if it was genetic.
No, it's physically impossible for me to have. I'm not even a carrier. It doesn't even go to me.
So it's on the X chromosome then.
Yeah, and like I said, my grandmother passed it to my father and my aunts and uncles. But like I said, my father and my Uncle Tom can't pass it. My Aunt Teresa and my Aunt Mary can and most probably have passed it on to their children, and then and my cousin Sheila, unfortunately, is very worried. She has 4 children, and 4 boys, actually, and she's very, very scared that she's passed it on to them. It's not a guarantee. It depends on, whether it's still a recessive, so it depends on, whether the kids will develop this issue later in life. It's usually something that also comes on later in life, too, so it's not. But anyway, it took a long time to figure out what my dad had, too. It took many years of figuring it out, and they had it under somewhat of control for a while, but now it's all kinds of a mess up. He's a diabetic, and now he's he's got kidney disease, and it's all just, yeah. So anyway, at least my parents will be closer again.
Yeah. So,
I did say to my mom, I'm like, Ma, can you think about maybe your son's commute when you when you buy the next place you buy? Maybe don't buy a place out in Pinckney. That's an hour and a half drive or whatever. Let's maybe
Houghton Lake. They'll go Houghton Lake, something like that. Someplace nice with a.
They're gonna get they're looking at condos, and I'm like, how about, I don't know, Farmington? I mean, whatever. A place in the middle of me and the sisters, So, but we'll see. So yeah, that was what I found out today, and I literally half an hour ago, 40 minutes ago, roughly. So yeah, it's like it was, my mom likes to sandwich good news between bad news. So yeah, your father's got kidney disease on top of everything else. We're moving home, and we're also we're moving back to Michigan, and also your dad also has heart issues now too. So thanks, Ma. If they don't listen to the show, it's fine. Not that my parents would ever listen to my a creative endeavor of mine, so it's all great. So anyways, what are you drinking?
So how do you really feel?
Yeah, exactly. I should be lying on a couch somewhere.
Yeah, CD just said bitter.
It's so funny because my mom, they've probably known about this for a couple of weeks. They probably made this decision 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, whatever. And my mom's telling me now. And I said to her, I'm like, maybe this isn't a great idea to start trying to sell the house and move in the middle of winter, and it's just beginning of winter. And I'm like, maybe you want to wait until maybe March or April. And she was talking about that the market is really good right now to sell because all the snowbirds are coming down and are in Florida now.
Yeah. So
they can probably have a better chance of selling the house. But still, I'm just like, Jesus Christ. All right. So anyway, Stella just posted on Facebook. Apparently she was buying something to drink. She goes, one of her guilty pleasures are those white trash margaritas in a can. They really are. I'm so proud. She goes, I have one maybe once a year or once every 2 years. Well, I was grocery shopping tonight and picked one up. As I was about to pay, the side burst open, no idea how, and alcohol sprayed everywhere on the conveyor belt, the floor, my new coat, and my hair, all over my hands. I looked helplessly at the cashier. Do you have a paper towel? No. Do you want cash back? No. I'm just going to leave this leaking can over here, okay? Her. But she goes, I know it's Christmas and everyone is tired and the lines are long, but I left the store smelling like I was in the middle of a 3-day bender. I'm sure people who came after me don't appreciate having to set their groceries in a puddle of lime margarita either. I have no moral to this story. I smell like lime and tequila and felt like sharing. And somewhere in the corner of a register at the Detroit Mile and 8 Mile, I'm 100% positive that can is still leaking. She posted that a half an hour ago. Holy shit. That's my girlfriend, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, what are you drinking?
I am drinking something. I ran to the store today, and I just happened to see this sitting there, and I had done one of this company's beers a couple weeks ago. It's the Toppling Goliath Brewing Company out of Iowa. I had done their one, I forget what it was called. It was something Sue. It was basically the one with Sue the dinosaur on it, the T-Rex. This particular one is called Pompeii, and I saw that it was an India Pale Ale, so it's an IPA. And what caught my eye was that it had a sign on it that said it had a rating of 100 on ratebeer.com, which, well, granted, Rate Beer is now owned by AB InBev, who owns Budweiser and all that. Sure. They actually bought it. So you got to take some of the stuff that's on there with a grain of salt, but it's still, that's their maximum score. So I'm like, all right, I will pick this up just to try it and see what it is. What I didn't realize until I poured it and looked at the can itself is that it's a Mosaic hopped IPA, and Mosaic hops are my favorite hops. Mm-hmm. It's what's in Mosaic Promise from Founders, which is one of my favorite beers. I got the can right here, so it's got like the volcano exploding type of thing, and it says brewed with the same attention to detail as the beautiful mosaics that grace the walls of prominent buildings in the city of Pompeii. It features mango and pineapple hop flavors with a medium-bodied feel to tantalize the senses. Live beer, please refrigerate. And it is brewed in Decorah, Iowa. And it comes out kind of a cloudy yellow color. It definitely has a lot of the tropical aromas that you would associate with Mosaic hops. And I gotta say, it's pretty fucking good. It definitely has all those flavors of the Mosaic hop. It does have a lot of mango, and it actually does have some pineapple in there too that I can see. And then it finishes kind of dry. It is also, as they described it, medium body. It's not overly heavy. I gotta say, I really like this one, but I'm a sucker for the Mosaic hops. I don't know that I would give it a perfect score, but I'll give it like a 4 1/4 bottle caps. So yeah, if you can find it, Pompeii Mosaic hopped India Pale Ale. What I don't see on here, I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I don't see what the ABV is on it, so I will look that up in just a moment. What about you? What are you drinking?
I am drinking one of these lovely Black Fangs. I meant to stop at the bottle shop and pick up something new, but I ran out of fucking time. Thanks to the phone call with my mother. So once again, going to a tried and true standard, the Black Fang of the holidays, Bee Nectar. It was also a lovely gift. These were a lovely gift from your lovely wife. A couple weeks, like, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. I've been kind of savoring them. And you guys, it is, of course, as we've said before, the blackberry, clove, and orange zest mead from Bee Nectar Meadery here in Ferndale. So check it out, guys, if you get the chance.
Cool. I just looked it up. It's 5.8%.
The beer you have?
Yeah, the beer.
Nice.
So, passion fruit, mighty tasty. Recorder League. Never heard of that one. CD's drinking. To just post what he's drinking.
A Recorder League?
Yeah, Recorder League premium hard cider.
Oh yeah, no, I've had it. It's the passion fruit. Yeah, it's not bad at all. The Recorder League's good. It's good. It's mitochondrial DNA. Thanks, Renee, for your input on that, because got to go to the scientist for the.
Yep.
Yeah, the Recorder League stuff is pretty decent. They've got a bunch of different flavors. It's nice stuff. I think I've probably reviewed them a few times on the show. So. Blah blah. Yeah. All right. So Black Fang for me, and say again what was yours?
Pompeii Mosaic hopped IPA.
Cool.
And sorry, I'm just taking a quick picture because I'm actually posting this on Untapped for the first time in like forever, because I had to go there anyway to look it up. So what the hell? So I don't want to get into Mandalorian yet.
Okay, here, hang on a second. Okay, just the girlfriend's back.
Okay, so you don't have to go get the dog.
No, I don't have to get the dog.
She rescued the puppy.
She did. But she smells like tequila and lime. Okay. Anyway, you were saying. I don't talk about Mando just yet.
No, because that's just gonna take a lot, because we got 2 episodes to cover, and holy shit, were they great episodes. But what we can talk about is some of the other shit that's going on right now. Like, we're only 3.5 weeks away from WandaVision now.
Yes. I am super excited for that. I think I like crazy jazzed. I think it's gonna be one of those things that could potentially like really change like things in the Marvel universe. My guess, my real guess, and possibly bring the Vision back from like wherever he is, whatever conditions he's in. My guess is that the two of them are mentally inside the mind gem. Like, but I don't know.
I'm wondering what it is because I just watched the second trailer, the new trailer, again, and one of the things that someone says, you hear him say, "Wanda, where are you?"
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm wondering is if this is something with her and being trapped inside her head or trapped somewhere or something like that. And you may be right. It may be that they're actually trapped in the mind gem.
Yeah. That's my guess anyway. The Infinity Gems are extremely powerful. I mean, they're like, they're basically the building blocks, part of the building blocks of everything, of the universe. So the fact that they're basically condensed, congealed. Hi, Dresden. Hi, buddy. Hi. Congealed down into...
I'm watching your camera shake.
He's very strong.
Yeah.
They're very, compressed parts of reality that they can do amazing things. And I think the Mind Gem, they didn't... this is going to be touching on some of the things that those gems can do individually. And they also talked about, but what about the fact that the Infinity Gems were destroyed? It's like, well, it doesn't mean they can't come back.
Yeah.
They could reconstitute. They could come back somewhere else. Whatever. We'll see.
Nothing's ever dead in the Marvel universe.
Right? I mean,
except Uncle Ben.
Exactly. In the comic books, the Soul Gem, which was one of the gems that one of the last ones they got, which is the one that the Scarlet Witch sacrificed herself for, was in the comic
Gamora
books.
sacrificed herself.
Gamora did, and then Scarlet Witch did. In the comic books, the Soul Gem, actually, there is a universe within the Soul Gem as well. Not so much a huge universe, but like a world within the Soul Gem as well. And so maybe that's what we're seeing too, something kind of like that. Because it does look very trippy. It does look very surreal. I'm excited to see how they're going to do the things that they're going to do and stuff. So,
but along with that, the week before we get Legends,
which
is going to start by talking about Vision and the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I think that what that's going to be a lot is probably background stuff. It's
going to be. It's like a documentary. That's what they're going to do on various. They're going to do basically a deep dive into various characters throughout the season of the show, and they're starting with them. I think because one, not everyone knows who they are, other than from the movies, and two, it's a week before their show starts, so.
Right, exactly. Now that's the thing. I mean, the Vision and Scarlet Witch have been around for a long time. In the comic books, they have appeared on various animated series. They have, I think, one of the older Avengers series that starred a lot of C-listers. It had like Wonder Man, and it had the Falcon, and it had, I think, Vision and the Scarlet Witch, and whatnot. It was a show back in the 90s, I think it was, late 90s. It was not considered a very good cartoon comparatively. It had Tigra. It had some of, like I said,
I remember Scarlet Witch from the 80s.
Yeah, and it was so it's not like they haven't been around, but you're right. It is they aren't exactly Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. So it will be a good idea to have like a refresher, I think, on some of that stuff. On these characters and like who they are and what they represent and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be cool as hell.
Yep. But along those same lines, I actually was just reading tonight that there is talk that Robert Downey Jr. will be returning to the MCU. Speaking of, no one's always ever completely dead.
I don't know how I feel about that, man.
No, well, now here's the thing: the rumors are that he's going to come back for Ironheart. So it's most likely going to be either flashbacks, or he's going to be a hologram, or he's going to be an AI voice.
That sounds like a lot more sense. Like it would make a lot more sense. They've also said that I believe he did do recording sessions for What If as well. So we're going to probably see animated versions of Tony Stark as well.
But the thing is that basically that's what it is. He's coming back for Ironheart. There's no talk of him actually coming back as Iron Man, other than he's going to probably play Tony Stark in Ironheart when they need him. Which right. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean it's just going to be like, you know, it's going to have like, it's a good way for him to have a payday and to continue kind of being a part, you know. But I don't know. I think the story of Tony Stark should be done in the MCU, at least that this Tony Stark. If they're going to bring him back, I don't think it should be Robert Downey Jr. I think maybe he could be an alternate version. They could recast him and have a different actor, and he's a guy from another universe, that kind of thing.
But the thing is that I'm okay with them bringing him back for at least at the beginning of Ironheart to get things started, because he is an integral part to that story.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the story of Ironheart without Tony Stark doesn't work.
I think yes. I think like him, he should definitely be a part of that story for sure. Because I mean, she built a suit of armor based on like basically took his designs, or sort of his designs, and improved upon it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's younger than him, and she created a suit of armor that's similar to his.
Now there is rumors that they're basically saying that it could also be that they will show how this is another young, brilliant mind that Tony Stark kind of mentored, along the lines of what they were showing with him doing with Peter.
Right.
So that's the other thing, is that's where they may show that. And then at some point it may be that Endgame happens and Tony's gone.
Right. I've also been reading apparently that because they are going to be tying in Doctor Strange 2 with Spider-Man 3.
Yep.
That the multiverse of madness and Spider-Man's movie is going to directly be involved in the Marvel multiverse.
Yep.
That Doctor Strange will sort of be filling the mentorship role of that Iron Man had filled for Spider-Man. Granted, he practices in magic, works in magic, not so much technology. He's still, on some levels, a man of science as well, because he's a doctor and a medical doctor and stuff. So it should be interesting to see Spider-Man kind of interact with another older, wiser kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. Because they did also establish that Doctor Strange's story was happening along the same timelines as Iron Man, as Thor, and some of the things. It wasn't something that was happening much later. It was happening at the same time. It's just that those movies came later.
Right. Well, a lot of those movies, you see them kind of timelines in it. Like in, I forget which one it is. There's one where you see the stuff from the Hulk on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like Iron Man 2 or something like that, I think.
Yeah, it was Iron Man 2.
Yeah, mm-hmm. There's like the scenes from the Hulk on the screen as they're covering news stories. So you know that those two are going on at the same time.
They even talk about in, I think it's Winter Soldier, when he talks about when he finds out that I think it's when he finds out that one guy from Shield is part of Hydra, that one Shield agent, that the bald guy, I can't remember his name right now, and he says, "We're watching everybody. We're watching this guy and that guy and Stephen Strange and and stuff." And you're like, "Oh!" That was the first time they mentioned Doctor Strange, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So anyway, he has been doing this for a while. It's the progression of the stories are all happening at the same time.
You keep going off screen, by the way. Like that.
Sorry. A little bit more.
But yeah, I mean, along with the fact that also John Bernthal is in talks supposedly, and supposedly these talks have been going on for a while for him to return as Punisher.
They've also said they also just revealed or just said the other day that they are also in talks. Or they're apparently a Daredevil miniseries is going to drop on Disney Plus soon.
Oh yeah,
they're talking. Well, they're talking, or not soon.
I had heard that Charlie Cox was probably going to be in the next Spider-Man.
Yes, I've heard that as well. And then I've also heard too that now that the rights are returning to Disney.
Yep.
I mean, the Netflix shows will still be on Netflix because Netflix owns those, but the rights to those characters are now returning back to Disney. So we will probably be seeing very well. I mean, I also read that they're trying to get they want to get Kristen Ritter back to play Jessica Jones again. So, which I do not see why. I don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand why some of these actors are reluctant to play some of these characters.
Oh, they don't want to get pigeonholed.
I get that, but that doesn't happen as much as it used to. Back in the 60s and 70s, maybe even the 80s, that used to happen. Not as much though.
Well, and now for some of them too, it's a matter of if you get into the MCU, that's some big paydays, but it also means that you are locked up for the next decade and really not doing a whole lot of other stuff because you don't have the time.
Right. If they do, you're right, exactly. They have to be much more careful about their schedule because they may be involved in multiple projects doing that character. You got to look at like Black Widow, who was in multiple. She was in all the Avengers movies. She was also in Captain America: Civil War.
I still want to see her fucking movie.
Yeah, they still haven't said anything about, as far as I know anyway, they still haven't said anything about what's going on with her.
Yeah.
And or what's going on
it's like that movie's kind of just gotten thrown to the side and there's been no talk about when it's going to come out. Exactly. But because it's a prequel, it doesn't really matter when they release it.
Right. Exactly. And so and I believe I had mentioned that the other day, or like last week, I think when we were talking, it's like they can release that at any point, but they still, I'm kind of like, I want to see that now. I don't want to, I'm really looking forward to that one. So, well, we'll see.
Which we are only 3 days away from Wonder Woman 1984.
I know. I actually scared Stella the other day. We were lying in bed and I went, "Oh!" And she's like, "What? Jesus!" And I'm like, "Oh, well, just a couple of days till Wonder Woman 1984." And she went, "Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, that's good,
You gonna get up early so you can watch it at noon when it starts streaming?
Nah, I'll watch it at some point. I'm gonna be cooking dinner and stuff too. So I mean, I'll get around to it. So, but like I said, I am super excited for that one. Particularly, apparently, Pablo Pascal, who's in The Mandalorian, plays Din Djarin in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He is Mando. He plays the villain in Wonder Woman 1984. He plays Max Lord. Apparently, he was kind of nervous because it's his second go round of being in a Wonder Woman project. He actually appeared in the never shown Wonder Woman pilot for the Wonder Woman TV show that they were trying to make like 10 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah, he played a detective, like a sergeant, a police detective. And I was like, holy shit. Now, I did see the pilot. I got to see the unfinished pilot. I was able to find it on back when I was pirating. And it wasn't bad. It could have been they could have done more with it. I think if they had, I mean, it was rough and it wasn't completely like some of the special effects shots hadn't been finished, but I think they could have done, it could have been all right. It was actually originally being produced by the guy that created Ally McBeal. And it was going to be very much a very kind of modern take on Wonder Woman, but I was kind of looking forward. I mean, from what I saw, I thought this has potential. It needs to be tweaked a little bit, but it has potential. So anyway, he was a little nervous about that, but apparently, because he is doing a very different character, I'm excited, man. I think it's going to be really fucking great.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I actually want to watch the first Wonder Woman again before then.
Yeah, I was thinking I might do that again too. Like maybe tomorrow night or something. Maybe after I get back from the holiday stroll.
Well, and then
pop that bad boy in.
And then after or the day after that on Saturday, we get Letterkenny.
Yeah, I'm also extremely happy about that.
I don't know which one I'm actually a little happier about. That I get the 2.5 hours of Wonder Woman or the 3.5 hours of Letterkenny.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to be happy either way. I'm in for all of it. I'm happy. Just yeah.
It's going to be a good weekend.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a busy weekend. For us.
The latest season of Mr. Iglesias just dropped too.
Oh yeah. Have you been watching that?
Yeah, I actually really enjoy that show. I think it's really funny. I'm a fan of Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, I like him too.
I actually went and saw him at the Fox one time, and he was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of those things where he's so popular, and people expect him to tell certain stories and things like that because they've become so popular. But the audience finishes the lines. And that I hate. I absolutely hate that when I go to a show.
Yeah, that's fucking annoying.
Like, you're not the fucking comedian. Let him tell the story.
Exactly. Yeah, that's I don't like that at all, actually. That just let the guy perform.
Yeah.
Don't.
I mean, he plays up to it and he expects it now. So he kind of pauses and waits for the audience to say the line.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, if you're going to hang on a second, I'm going to close my door here. I'm hearing the Golden Girls soundtrack in the background.
Oh, is that what that was? I was.
That was, yeah.
We don't want to get hit for copyright violation.
No, not at all. What was I just saying? Just let the person perform.
Yeah.
Let them do their act. That's what you're there to see. This isn't like audience participation time.
Yeah. I went to see
unless
him.
they make it that, and then that's fine.
I paid to go see him. I didn't go to hear the audience tell his jokes.
Yeah, I mean, are you the type to go and see a shadow cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show?
That I'll see, but I know what I'm getting when I go to that.
Exactly. Exactamundo. You're there,
and that I'm there to see that more than I am the actual movie because the movie's horrible.
It's a classic.
Oh, it is, and I used to go see it every Friday night at midnight over at Lakeside Mall.
Did you really?
Yeah. There was one summer, me and my friends all went up there.
I've actually only seen a shadow cast twice. I went to a friend of mine, this girl I was seeing, took me out to a shadow cast out in Ann Arbor, and I went and saw it, and it was pretty cool. I mean, I enjoyed it. So
yeah, I mean, it was after a lot of you couldn't do a lot of the stuff that you used to be able to do because of people being. It was one. It messes up the theater, and two, people were idiots and doing things like for the rain scene when you would have squirt guns and you just squirt them up in the air.
Right,
people were putting people were putting fucking bleach in the squirt guns and shit like that.
That's awful. Who would do something like that?
It's fucking idiots.
That's fucked up. I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway, well, let's move on.
So the other thing that you had brought up earlier was asking me if I had seen the trailer for Coming to America.
Coming to America, yeah. I just posted it in the Facebook page of the group, the Facebook page for Nerds with Alcohol, for those of you guys who want to see it. It is, yes, they just dropped a teaser trailer, not the full trailer, but the teaser trailer for Coming to America, the sequel to Coming to America. Now, unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of the title because I think it's a little confusing, but I'm really excited to see this film.
I am too. It looks really funny.
Yeah, Coming to America was one of my, is hands down one of my favorite Eddie Murphy films of all time.
Bark like a dog.
Yeah. I mean, it was the first movie where he started doing all the prosthetic makeup characters
and it started playing like 18 characters in a movie. Yeah.
Between he and they kid him about it too, because when they made the movie, they were coming up with all these characters, but between him and Arsenio, they played the majority of the characters themselves. Yep. And people were getting pissed. They're like, "Come on, Eddie, put some of your friends in the movie," you know? And so people were like, pissed off about that. But then it just was so damn funny. I mean, he played at least five. Eddie himself played at least 4 or 5 different characters. And
he plays 4. I think he plays 4 characters in one scene. In the barbershop scene, he's like 4 characters.
He's in that scene. He's only 2 characters.
No, he's 3 because he's the prince.
Oh yeah, well
he's the barber and he's the old Jewish guy. Old
Jewish guy, yeah, you're right. So then Arsenio plays. Well, let's break it down. Eddie plays the barber. He plays plays Prince Akeem, of course. He plays the barber. He plays the old Jewish guy. He plays the singer in Sexual Chocolate.
Yep.
I think that was it. And then Arsenio played Simi. He played the other barber. He played the preacher. And in the bar scene, when they were at the pickup scene, he played one of the women that they tried to pick up, or that she's like, I was like, I want to tear you apart and your friend too, And they're like, ooh,
yeah. So
it looks like they might even have one extra character in this one too.
Yeah. Randy Watson, that was the lead singer of Sexual Chocolate,
right? Sexual Chocolate. Fucking fantastic. Really fantastic.
I'm actually trying to pull it up to see who all he played in that, and they don't have just a list. I just want a list of who he played in.
Yeah, and then they had there was one other barber in the back of the the barbershop that was played by somebody else. I don't know who it was, but he was also in makeup. But the cool thing was they've shown that all of these characters are back. He's got a huge cast of I mean, everybody, apparently it looks like almost everybody that has returned. And I mean, James Earl Jones is still there as his father, who's apparently maybe sickly and is dying soon. And I guess the story is that Prince Akeem has a son in Queens, New York, in America, and he has to go and retrieve his son, because the crown does eventually have to pass to a male heir. And so they go back to America. But the cool thing is that they have aged everybody further appropriately. Like they show Eddie Murphy's barber character, and he is obviously 30 years older. Instead of being probably an old guy in his mid to late 50s, is a guy in his mid to late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah, the old Jewish guy though, I mean, he has to be like 120 now.
Yeah, I'd have to be. I mean, he was really old.
But it looks like each of them played 4 characters in Coming to America,
including their main character. Okay.
Yeah, because I've got Arsenio Hall was Extremely Ugly Girl, Semi, Reverend Brown, and Morris.
Reverend Brown and Morris. Morris is the barber.
Yes, and Eddie Murphy was Prince Akeem, Saul, Randy Watson, and Clarence.
Clarence, the barber as well.
Yeah.
So but yeah, guys, check out the trailer. It looks really great. It's got looks like they got the actress that played the woman he married.
Well,
Leslie Jones is in it.
Just the scene, I actually laughed out loud with when he's like, "We're going back to America," and next thing you know, I was like, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah. Oh hell no. I guess Wesley Snipes is also in the film,
yep.
and he plays the brother of the woman that I think he plays the brother of the woman that Prince Akeem rejected. And he's like a general. He's some sort of general or something like that. So, yeah, Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, Jermaine Fowler, Leslie Jones, Tracy Morgan, Sherry Headley, Tiana Taylor, and Wesley Snipes, James Earl Jones. Hey man, I'm also happy to see Wesley Snipes getting more work again. You know, but Wesley Snipes actually appeared in Eddie Murphy's last big movie that he made that was on Netflix that got a lot of attention. The movie about Rudy Ray Jones. What was it? Not Black Dynamite. It was. Oh shit! I'm completely blanking. It was a movie about the blaxploitation actor that they did. That it was really great. I'm blanking on it right now. But it was super good, and I think he got some attention for it. In he got some
Dolomite
attention.
Is My Name.
Dolomite, yeah, Dolomite Is My Name. It was great, and yeah, Coming to America. Yeah, it was Dolomite Is My Name. He played Rudy Ray Jones, and he played Dolomite. And it was so good, man. It was really great. But yeah, we were talking about this, I think it was last week or the week before. He's also in pre-production on Triplets, which is a sequel to the movie Twins with Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. And then in Beverly Hills Cop 4 to return as Axel Foley.
Yeah, I just hope it's better than 3 because...
Oh, man, yeah, that one was really rough. There had been he's the only one that's been listed in the cast, but I remember saying that there was possibly going to the story might feature Jerry Bruckheimer as a producer. The story might feature Eddie Murphy or Axel Foley's son who has followed in his footsteps as a police officer, and now he's the kind of rabble-rousing, rebellious kind of cop, and Axel has got to be is his commanding officer. So
so he's gonna have the Hill position, Inspector Hill.
Yeah, exactly. Gil Hill, who was a real Detroit
cop,
chief of police. He was chief of police for a while.
Was he chief?
Okay. He was chief for a while.
So Renee said going to a show of The Room is great, which I've never seen The Room. Her and a buddy of mine went to go see The Room at the Main Art Theater.
I would love to see The Room.
Which what's his name was actually there.
Yeah.
I can't think of his last name.
Tommy Wiseau.
Wiseau, yeah. I knew it started with a W, but I couldn't think of it.
Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, he was actually there. She said it was absolutely a blast. It was a midnight showing, and she said it was great. I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen The Disaster Artist.
I have The Disaster Artist, and it is amazing.
Yeah, I kind of want to see The Room.
I want to see The Room because now because I've seen Disaster Artist.
Well, that's the thing. I want to see The Room, and then I want to see Disaster Artist. And I think Renee. I don't know if Renee's seen Disaster Artist or not, but a lot of the things that she's, at least that I've heard, she said it's completely true in The Room. It's just.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because of all the touring and the showings that he's made and that he's done. Like he'll go and he'll have a showing of it, and he'll be there and he'll do a Q&A, and he's actually made his money back now on that film. I mean, he put like $10 million into that movie, and it was so bad. And but yeah, he's more or less made his money back now. So good for him.
But yeah, McDonald's from Coming to America. McDonald's, MAC.
What?
The restaurant?
Yeah, McDonald's. It was
McDonald's. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What else here?
Let Soul Glow.
Get your soul glow. Yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing I've got is the Mandalorian stuff, which.
Well, before we get into Mando stuff, I got a bunch of I got some quick hits here, a bunch of various nerd stuff. First, we want to talk about some more news with Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We were going to talk about that.
Cyberpunk 2077, one of the biggest dumpster fires of video gaming.
But yet it's still sold over 13 million copies.
13 million copies, yes. Now, they say that if you're playing it on the computer, now that they've patched it, if you're playing it on the computer or on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox S1 or S or whatever it is, they're saying that it is actually pretty fun. It is still kind of buggy, but
my buddies that have gotten into it, one of my buddies, he's like, dude, I am loving this story. The more and more I get into it, the more and more fun it is.
Yeah. They're saying that it's a beautiful game. It's incredible. It's wonderful, blah, 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 which is great. And I said that that's what it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
People are returning the game. The PlayStation removed it from the PlayStation Store for the foreseeable future until it is playable, or at the very least, it is fixed for the current generation or the previous generation of games.
The ones they actually made it for, because they haven't made a version for the PS5 or the Xbox S.
Right. They have, exactly. But what they did is they made it so that it takes advantage of the processing power of the PS5, even though they still say, now I did see something where there will be an upgrade to a PlayStation 5 version later, probably next year.
What I heard was maybe. They were saying maybe. They were not confirming whether or not they would actually create a version for the new systems.
Okay. And that was what convinced me to buy it now, because I bought my copy for my PS4. And then it was launched, and then everybody's like, "Wait, we can't play it." What?
Have you even tried to load yours?
Not yet. No.
Yeah.
Now it has been patched several times. They actually released.
They've done more patching on the PlayStation and Xbox than they have on the computer so far.
Correct.
They got patch 1.05. We still haven't gotten it for the computer yet.
Right. Well, patch 1.05 was actually released earlier than they intended. Apparently, they originally were supposed to release that one in January. But they released that patch pretty much right after the PlayStation pulled it, because they're like, oh shit, we really got to get on this. So I have not loaded it yet. From what I've been hearing, that the newest patches are making it more playable. But they have also said, though, don't hoard your items, because if your save is larger than 8 megabytes, which in a
8
game,
gig. 8 gig.
Oh, 8 gigs. Okay. In a game of this size, you're going to have a pretty big saves file for your character. But it could potentially get corrupted. The save could get corrupted if it's larger, if it's too large.
Yep. The other thing a buddy of mine told me is that you have to min-max in this game. If you want to actually get through the game, you have to pick basically 2 stats that you want to max out, max them all the way out, and then try and kind of work in some of the other stuff later, because your max level is like 50. Mm-hmm. So you only have so many points that you can put into character stats. Okay. And if you try and spread them out and be kind of more equal and even in all of them, he said you won't be able to actually succeed in some of the stuff you need to do later on. So you really have to decide what kind of character you want to play and really just max out those stats, and then go back and try and put some stuff in some other things.
Okay. So that's something to bear in mind. Now, they also talked about that CD Projekt Red, they did say Cyberpunk 2077 has sold over 13 million copies. Now, I don't know if they factored in the amount that they've had to the numbers of returns.
What I saw was that includes that actually takes into account the returns. That is
you're right. This number factors in refunds processed at this point at both retail and digital. Yeah. It had 8 million pre-orders prior to launch. So holy shit, that's pretty amazing. The disclosure was made to reassure investors that the game still has a record-breaking launch despite the controversy. Now, if they've sold 13 million copies of it, they've made an immense amount of money, like immense. This is not 13 million copies of a $8 CD.
Yeah,
this is a $60 game.
Yeah.
So because they had to do this because the CD Projekt Red investors are considering legal action over the misleading information about Cyberpunk 2077, both in New York, I believe, and in Poland. Yeah. On Friday, 2 prospective legal challenges came to light, one from Warsaw, Poland, and one from New York, as reported by the New York Times. A Warsaw-based lawyer, Mikołaj Orchakowski, has also invested in CD Projekt Red, announced a potential class action lawsuit asking other investors to come forward if they share the belief that they've been unduly affected by the suspension of the sale of the Cyberpunk 2077 product, particularly because of the PlayStation suspension, and believe the company made a misrepresentation to would-be investors in order to obtain financial benefits. Wolf Halderson, Alder Freeman, and Hertz LLP, which is based in New York, USA, has also come forward and revealed it is investigating claims that CD Projekt may have issued materially misleading information to their shareholders and investing public. So basically, everything that they revealed ahead of time, they did say that almost all the footage that they revealed was stuff that was for the computer, was played on the computer. Or on a computer. So it was like, they didn't even worry about the PlayStations and whatnot, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So now they did fall over themselves. CD Projekt Red has fallen over themselves, apologizing, saying, we're going to fix this. We're going to make this better. There's no price that is too high to repair our reputation. Now, personally, I feel that their reputation has been damaged probably irrevocably. No matter how good this game turns out to be, and no matter how good The Witcher 3 was, CD Projekt Red's reputation now is pretty damaged, and everybody is going to be a lot more careful about investing in the company and pre-buying any games that they make.
Their next game has to be fucking perfect, and they have to deliver it. They have to deliver it on time, and it has to be perfect.
Yep, and all the DLC, everything for these for Cyberpunk is going to have to be free, and it's going to have to be really, really fucking good. They've actually already said that I think the first expansion of Cyberpunk is supposed to be free anyway, the first DLC. But they're going to need to really, really, step it up to fix this.
Well, and so here's the thing for me. I read an article, or I saw an article that people are getting upset because when they're getting their refunds, Sony and Microsoft are deleting the game from their systems.
Right.
I'm like, that's a refund. You return the product.
Right.
You get your money back. You don't get to keep the product and get your money back.
I found that to be absolutely asinine. People were like upset. What? I got to give it back? Yeah, you got to give it back. You dipshit. So it says your Cyberpunk 2077 save may be corrupted if you pick up too many items. The save file size limit might be increased in one of the future patches, but the corrupted files will remain that way. It's actually 8 megs. And it says, according to a thread on the Cyberpunk 2077 subreddit, save files need to stay below 8 megabytes to keep them safe, but this is proving difficult for an RPG game that usually demands a lot of crafting and collectibles. The issue also plaguing PC players, which have hitherto escaped many of the major issues affecting the console version.
Well, they need to set inventory limits then.
I would imagine that has got to be an easy fix.
You'd have to think that it's a line of code that says your save file can be this big.
Yeah. So it says, in a response via the GOG website, which is owned by developer CD Projekt Red's parent company, the studio has confirmed that once corrupted, there's no way to recover the save, so it recommends you keep a lower amount of items and crafting materials. Well, what does lower amount mean?
Yeah.
Like how low? Do you have 50 item, numbers of everything? Or do you keep it under 20?
Well, and that's the thing. My buddy's actually just getting into crafting, but I'm already gathering stuff up that I can use for crafting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
And he's way beyond me. I actually restarted the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I actually restarted it after talking with him and learning more about it. I'm like, you know what? I'll go ahead and restart it. I'm not that far into it anyway. And now that I know more and understand it a little bit better, I'm like, yeah, I'll restart it because it'll be a better experience for me, I think. Yeah. And yeah, I'm much better at it now than I was when I first started. I'm like, okay, I can actually play this game now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping to. I considered just buying it for my computer and playing it on my computer as well. I mean, I would like to play it. I bought it for my PlayStation because I feel like a game of this magnitude needs to be played on a bigger screen. Mm-hmm. I do have a large. My future brother-in-law gave me a monitor that I haven't plugged in yet because my room. You can't see it, but my room's kind of a mess right now, and so I'm planning on cleaning up the room, reorganizing everything, and I was going to try this new monitor. It's slightly bigger, and plug it into the computer, see how it works. But still, I kind of wanted to play it on the big screen because it's going to be really big. But I also really want to play this game, so I'm thinking I might, maybe I'll splurge and purchase it on Steam, and see about getting it just so that I can play a non-bug, or less buggy version. So we'll see. Speaking of,
I got a buddy that's actually trying to sell me his 34-inch widescreen monitor, extra widescreen monitor. I'm like, he's like, it's got a little scratch in one part of the screen, but you don't even notice it. And I'm like, I do want like a big curved monitor. I don't think his is curved, but sure. I want the big curved monitor, which I saw there's one at Micro Center for like $189.
That ain't bad.
No, it's a 34. Bad. It's a 34-inch curved monitor for $189.
It's pretty good.
So, yeah. I'm like,
Speaking of Steam, today started the winter sale on Steam. So if you are, hankering for some games for your computer, there's some pretty amazing sales, 75, 80% off of a lot of stuff, up to 80% off of Lego franchise. So like Lego Avengers, normally $20, $5. Lego Batman, normally $20, $5. Let's see, the Doom franchise, the Naruto franchise, Mortal Kombat, the Elder Scrolls franchise. Looks like Skyrim Special Edition, normally $40, down 60% to $15.99. Oblivion, $4.99. Morrowind, $3.74. These are older games, of course, but still, Metal Gear Solid franchise. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, normally $20, $5. The Fallout franchise, Fallout 76, normally $40, $13.19, which includes the Steel Dawn expansion. Fallout 4, normally $30, down 70%, down to $8.99. I highly recommend Fallout 4. It's one of my favorite games. South Park franchise.
I haven't actually played any of the Fallouts. They've been on my list of ones I've wanted to play, but
Fallout 3 was really great. That's where I kind of started, was Fallout 3, and then I played Fallout New Vegas, also really great. I highly recommend, if you're going to get into a game, starting at Fallout 4 is a good place to start. Let's say the Grand Theft Auto franchise. Grand Theft Auto 5, normally $30, down 50% to $14.99. So, like I said, some really huge stuff. Mass Effect.
Huge,
big, gigantic. I think I saw Star Wars is under. They've got a Middle Earth. A lot of stuff. So, guys, check it out. Go to the Steam sale, and you might be able to find some stuff that you're really going to enjoy. I'm going to check it out later. Might spend a couple of bucks on some games that I've had on my wish list and see if they're if they're priced down a lot. So that'd be because these sales on these Steam sales, man, they kick the crap out of me.
They kick the crap out of your wallet.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I don't have enough time to play all the games I want to buy when they're that cheap.
That's true. No, I feel you on that. But the thing is even so, if it's $5 instead of 30, it can sit on my computer for a while, and I'll just play it later. buy it now, and it sits there, man. Shit.
Well, see, I still play so many MMOs that those are the ones I tend to go to when I'm like, you know what? I want to play a game. I'm going to play some Mech Warrior. I'm going to play some Star Wars. Or I'm going to play some WoW.
They are very. I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, MMOs are definitely one of those ones that are expensive in time.
Yes.
You know, it costs a lot in time, and as much as I love them,
the first MMO that I ever played, EverQuest, the one that really kind of launched all these MMOs, just released their 27th expansion. They're still going, and they're still releasing expansions.
That amazes me. It amazes
me because I haven't played the game in 20 years.
I mean,
well, not quite 20, about 15. But
it's free though, right? I mean, people aren't paying.
It is. I think they have gone free to play, but it's like most of the games you can pay to play as well, and you get bonuses for doing it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what we.
But like WoW is not free to play. WoW is still a subscription. You can play WoW for free up to like level 20, and that's it. Or at least that's what it was. It's now probably like level 10.
I remember, I mean, I did kind of jump in on that when I was staying with Sean and Sarah when I first moved out of my ex-wife's place. That, it was it was initially, you could, I mean, it was free till up to level 20. So he was like, hey, man, this is a World of Warcraft household. You got to give it a shot. I was like, sure, I'll get it. So I played for a little while.
Well, when you came down to visit when I was in Louisville, you tried out EverQuest 2, I remember.
Yeah, on your system.
Yeah, my system, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, but the thing is that some of these games I'm surprised that they're still playing them without
EverQuest really
updates.
That's the thing. EverQuest really surprises me because the graphics still look the same.
Right.
They are 1999 graphics.
Right. Now, like City of Heroes, which I got back into and is free, it's free on these private servers. They haven't done any kind of huge graphic update, since they closed, but they did do a big graphic update right before it closed. So graphically, they did improve the game quite a bit, and it still holds up pretty well. It still looks pretty good. So I get why people and there was a lot of love for that game. There was a lot of community love and whatnot. So it's just interesting that people really, I mean, people love what they love, So a couple other things here real quick. Let's see. The Boba Fett spin-off series was officially announced by Star Wars.
Which we're going to talk about later.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's see. Diego Luna has been working on the Cassian Andor series. He says it feels like we're doing a very long movie. It sounds like that the series that they're going to do, which is a prequel to Rogue One, is going to be huge. It's going to be, and it's going to very much feel like a very long Star Wars movie, which I'm happy about. PS5. There's a new. They just did an update to the operating system on the PS5. It will now notify you if you're accidentally playing the PS4 version of a game. So if you put the game in and you're playing the PS4 version, it'll go, hey, do you want to play the PS4 version or do you want to play the PS5 version? So that's pretty cool. It's kind of a cool update. So display a notification. It was just revealed on Twitter about that. So pretty cool. It is especially welcome in light of the confusion around games eligible for a PS5 upgrade last month in November when the console first launched. Users sometimes weren't aware that they were actually playing the backwards compatible PS4 version of a game instead of the native PS5 version, chiefly because you need to go into the game's menu on the PS5 home screen to switch versions. So that's pretty cool. Also, Skyrim has a 60 FPS mod for PS5 and Xbox Series X. So they're actually the mods for both Skyrim and Fallout 4 on the next gen consoles. So fucking awesome. I'm here for it to play Skyrim on the PS5 and have it upgraded, man. Yes. Absolutely. Both Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Absolutely. Probably one of the reasons why I haven't gone back into playing those two games more recently, because I'm like, I want to play it on the 5. I want to see what it looks like and how well it runs on the 5. Okay. So, but these are mods. These are also mods, not necessarily from the official games. Let's see. That's a comic book thing. That's another comic book thing. Last but surely not least, okay, so KFC launches a 4K 240 frames per second gaming console with a built-in chicken warmer.
What?
Yes. Watch out, PS5 and Xbox Series X. The KFC gaming console is real. It's called the KF console. It's essentially a VR-ready high-end gaming PC, and it comes with a built-in chicken warmer. Boom, checkmate. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Back in June, just after the PS5 reveal, KFC released a ridiculous trailer for the KF console, but everyone just figured they were joking. Turns out they were dead serious. KFC, the chicken place, has teamed up with Cooler Master and launched a gaming console capable of 4K and 240 frames per second. The joint press release didn't mention a price or release date, but they've reached out for clarification and will update the article if they hear back. It says the console wars are over, introducing the KF console. Power your hunger. Moving forward from our initial teaser campaign earlier this year, we're so pleased to finally give the fans exactly what they wanted, making the KF console a reality, said KFC PR boss Mark Cheevers. We all know the console war is vicious, but we're very confident in the KF console as our flagship entry. This machine is capable of running games at top-level specs, all on top of keeping your meal warm for you to enjoy during your gaming experience. What's not to like? If Sony or Microsoft want any tips on how to engineer a chicken chamber for their efforts next time, we'll be welcome to get in touch. The complete specs haven't been revealed, but we know it's got an Intel Nuke 9 CPU, Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte SSD, and judging from the prominence of ray tracing in the marketing from Cooler Master, an NVIDIA GPU. Cooler Master also says the KF console has a first of its kind hot swappable GPU slot for easy upgrades. But who really cares about all that when it's got a chamber to keep your fried chicken warm?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing also at what CD's been posting as you've been doing that whole thing. For the true gamers, you just need a bedpan. It's a console between two chicken breasts.
With hot sauce? It's genius. It's genius, I tell you. Why didn't PlayStation think of that? I mean, some of these consoles run pretty hot.
Dude, I just pulled it up to see what it looks like. Damn. It looks like one of their buckets of chicken.
Yeah, it does. Hey, we got another Auntie Dawn is back. Hey, Auntie Dawn, it's nice to see you. Thank you for swinging in. All
right. So we got to start talking about Mandalorian. We're running out of time. We're already at an hour and 20. So
right. We're gonna probably run a little long today, guys. Probably not as long as last time, but Mandalorian. Holy shit.
Yes. Holy shit. Holy fuckballs. Whatever. Wow. The last 2 episodes were amazing. I mean, they were brilliantly done, I think. Starting with the one before, the Grogu gets Baby Yoda napped. Is that what it is?
It's Grogu napped. He gets Grogu napped.
Grogu napped, yeah. And he gets taken away, and so Mando starts looking for him, and he goes back and gets what's his name?
Get some help.
Yeah. He's looking for the one guy that he put in jail earlier from the Prison Break episode.
Right. It was played by Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr. Who, I gotta say, the change in that character was something.
Oh, man, that was really cool. Very well written.
Yes.
Very cool. I mean, I loved how, when in the episode where he basically confronts his former commanding officer, you get to see like the guy obviously has been through some PTSD. I mean, you don't really think about the fact that, how do they feel about how do some of the Empire troops feel about things like, the Star Destroyer being destroyed, or
the Death Star,
or the Death Star being destroyed, or
that comes up in the last
later,
episode,
right?
Yeah.
Or Vader's Star Destroyer, his Super Star Destroyer. Now they actually say I've heard that actually the loss of the Super Star Destroyer was even worse than the loss of the Death Star.
Yeah.
Because the Super Star Destroyer had all of the best and brightest. If you wanted to serve and you were the best and brightest in the Empire, you wanted to serve on Vader's Super Star Destroyer. That was where it was the place to be. The Death Stars were still like, I mean, hell, the second one wasn't even finished yet. So you got to think that, their friends died, their buddies died, their cohorts. I mean, all these different all of the different their brothers in arms were all destroyed and were killed when these big weapons were destroyed. So you got to figure that probably that hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, the idea that these generals didn't give a shit.
Yeah, because Burr runs it. They wind up. They have to carry this. They hijack a transport that's carrying this highly explosive element.
Right.
And that the natives of this planet are trying to blow up because they don't want the Empire there.
Right.
I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's if they drive too fast or move too much, it can blow up anyway. So these natives are coming after them on these skiffs, these hover skiffs, basically, and trying to put thermal detonators down to blow up the transports. They'd already blown up two. And so Mando's up on top fighting them. And Burr's driving, and the Mandalorian,
of course, he changed his armor out.
Yeah,
he's in disguise. He's wearing the armor of these tank troopers, which if my friend Todd was like, I want to build that. Friend, Todd and my friend Jason Womack, who are both troopers. They both work with the 501st. They're both like, I want to build those, man. Those look great.
Yeah, they looked really cool, all black and with a cool looking helmet.
No, they were like a deep green.
Were they? I thought they were black.
No, I think they were a deep green. They weren't black for sure. But if they were black, they were maybe like they were like a not a glossy black. It was a
matte black.
Matte.
Yeah.
So it was either a darkish greenish gray or black. We'd have to look at it again.
Yeah. But yeah, but anyway, so they're the only ones that get their thing through. And they're all getting saluted as they come in and everything like that. And Burr's character is a former Imperial.
Yes.
And so they get in and they're trying to get this info, and it's in the officer's mess, of course, is where this terminal is. And he goes to walk in and he sees someone who was his commanding officer. And he's like, and Mando was like, will he recognize you? He's like, I don't know. He goes, but I'm not going to take the chance. We're out. We got to leave. And Mando says, no, give me the stick, the info stick. I'll do it. He's like, you can't. It requires facial scanning.
Right.
So he actually goes in and actually takes his helmet off and gets his face scanned.
Yeah, it was enough. He goes, because the other thing, because if he didn't, it was going to send off like an alert.
Yeah.
So he had to do it. Otherwise they were fucked.
Yep. And of course, then the one commander looks over and sees him, and he's like trying to talk to him. He's like, what's your designation? He's like, co-pilot. He's like, what? No, what's your TK number? And he's just like looking at him like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, and then Bill Burr comes in, finally goes, all right, I'll come in and I'm gonna save him, because he's gonna fuck this whole situation if he does. So he comes in and then the commander ends up, buying him a drink.
Yeah, you gotta come have a drink.
Yeah, and let's have a drink and let's talk this out, and so they do, and finally, like, and Bill Burr, and the cool thing is they actually referenced something that was for the first time referenced something that happens in one of the video games as canon, as part of
Operation Cinder.
Yes, Operation Cinder, which is in um, Battlefield, Star Wars Battlefront, excuse me, Battlefront 2, the Star Wars Battlefront 2, which was the Emperor's plan that if the Empire looked like it was going to fall, they're going to just burn it to the ground and rebuild it burn everything to the ground and then rebuild from the ground up. And so Bill Burr's character, I can't remember his name. I'm
going to look it up now because
he references that situation or that mission and as Operation Cinder. So that was a big deal, You don't see that too often where they are going to go, okay, we're going to make sure that we reference some
Mayfield
of these things. Mayfield
or Mayfeld.
What was his first name?
It just says Mayfeld on IMDb.
Oh, okay. So pretty awesome though. I mean, they're pretty cool that they did. And anyways, he finally like gives in to his own like anger and whatnot and shoots the guy.
Miggs Mayfield.
What is it?
Miggs.
And basically he kills the guy, and then they create a...
He gets pissed because of the whole just dispassionate, doesn't care about, it was for the greater good.
Yeah, it's for the good of the Empire.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
And just like basically blows him away, and then creates a shootout.
Everyone else just kind of freezes like, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they have to create a shootout, and thankfully then they also end up destroying the facility, which was
he
one
does.
of those things.
That's the other thing. He does that. He's like, give me that rifle.
Yeah.
And he shoots one of the tanks.
Right.
That has the stuff in it and blows the whole place up.
Right, and it was cool because they end up, then they end up, of course, they let him go. Because he was going to go back. They're going to have to originally. He was going to have to go back to prison, probably a little bit nicer one because he did do them a solid.
Yeah, he'll get a better view. Mm-hmm. Is what they told him.
Yeah, maybe a better view, and so that was cool. But yeah, so they were like, "Oh, it's too bad you died during that last mission," And he just kind of looks at. He's like, "I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I can go.
I can go
because I will."
Yeah, go. And they just look at him, and he just kind of turns away.
But my issue with that, so my problem though was that he was the only person alive who had seen Mando's face then at that point.
That's true.
And I'm like, oh, he's gonna have to die. No, they didn't kill him.
Nope, they didn't.
So they get the info that they need though, which is the location of Gideon's ship.
Correct.
And that's really what they were after. And once they did that, they took off, and that's where the next episode takes over.
Correct.
And you start off with them chasing a shuttle with that doctor on it. Yes. And the one pilot is the guy that played what's his name in S.H.I.E.L.D. You haven't seen the last couple seasons of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
He's actually I'm blanking on his name now. Malik. He's Malik's kid.
Oh, okay.
In S.H.I.E.L.D. Or actually he's Malik in S.H.I.E.L.D. He's a young Malik. And so I'm like, fuck, I know him. So I was actually looking up to see who the hell he was. But they basically board the ship, and that's where they actually specifically say that doctor is a cloning doctor.
Correct. Yes.
So that's the tie-in right there. So you know that that's exactly what they're doing, is they're trying to clone the Emperor. That's why they need. Yeah. That's why they need Grogu's.
That doctor.
And that's why they need Grogu's blood, because it has a high M count.
Right, a high M count.
Yeah.
But I wonder what that stands for.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the whole thing, is that's where they're tying it into the new movies, is that he is a cloning doctor, and that's what this whole project is. And that's what I figured it was since the beginning, is that it is them trying to clone the Emperor, and it's all those failed clones that you've seen. But anyway, so they get him. He actually helps them and basically says, "Yeah, this is his ship. He's got a whole platoon of dark troopers on there."
Mm-hmm.
And
holy shit, how nasty were those droids?
Well, and then he says, they say something about the guys in them, and he's like, no, that was the last weakness to work out, was that they're the men inside, they're droids now.
Yeah.
And one of the things I got to say is the last episode, the score and the music that they used was abso-fraggin-lutely brilliant. It was absolutely so good. I mean,
they've been talking about that. Like, everybody online has been talking about just how wonderful the score was.
Yeah, in that last episode, I mean, there were so many things. The writing was great.
Yeah.
The pacing was great. The way that they did it was really cool. But basically, they go get Bo-Katan and her one friend, who's, I don't even know what the other Mandalorian's name is. But when Boba Fett comes in, there's a whole thing too.
Right.
And she's like, "You're not Mandalorian." And he's like, "My father was." She's like, "You mean you're Donor?"
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's this whole argument. She's like,
"I've seen your face.
I've heard your voice thousands of times."
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty interesting, actually. I was like, "Oh, all right. Yeah. That was pretty fucking cool, actually."
Yeah, that was actually kind of a cool exchange. And then there's the fight between her friend and Boba, and he pretty much gets his ass kicked by her.
Yeah.
And then they recruit her to go after the ship because Bo-Katan wants the Darksaber.
Right, exactly. And we find out that Darksaber is very important, actually.
Yes. And so basically she says with it she can retake Mandalore.
Right.
And so she agrees to go, but that she wants the Darksaber for herself, and they're like, that's fine. And as they're approaching, basically the idea is that they're going to fly the shuttle in. Boba Fett's going to chase them and be shooting at them, and they're going to do an emergency landing on Gideon's ship.
Correct.
And then they'll take it from there. And basically, with the help of the Doctor, they know where the Dark Troopers are, and they know where Grogu's being held, and they're going to go in and attack. Actually, all the women are going to go in and attack. Did you notice that? It was all women that were supporting him.
I did see that. Yeah, I did notice that.
Just
right on.
Just a bunch of badass women.
Badass chicks, man. I mean, it's just a shame that what's her name that plays Cara Dune politically has become kind of a piece of shit, because I really like her character. I really like Cara Dune. I think she's a lot of fun. And honestly, I liked the actress as well. Gina Carano. I thought she was hot. One, I liked that she's just badass. And then she's revealed herself to be kind of a piece of crap.
I would say just ass.
What's that?
Just ass.
Just what?
You said she's revealed herself to be, or she's badass, and you said she's just revealed herself. I said just ass.
Just ass. Yeah, you're correct. And it's like, it's just too bad, and it just bums me out. Not because and Disney has actually warned her. They're like, look, you're going to either need to apologize, or some of the things that we had planned for you are not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they more or less kind of were saying like she could potentially have been in one of the spinoffs.
Well, they were saying Rangers of the New Republic was going to be her show.
Yeah. She could have been, her career would have been made at that point. And now she doubled down on this shit. So who knows? Maybe we'll see her apologize and I don't know, say some shit that maybe will be a little better. But it's just like, oh, what a bummer,
Yeah. But anyway, so they start attacking. Mando comes in. He heads towards where the Dark Troopers are. He's gonna try and lock them in. He has to dodge some troopers, of course, the whole way. They're taking out like the entire ship's worth of troopers. He heads off and he gets there just as and Gideon fires up the troopers. He's like, activate the Dark Troopers. And that right there, when they start activating the troopers, the music that starts there, it's like techno. And it's just like, I'm like, it wasn't expected. It was so, it seems so out of place, but it was so perfect for that scene. And I'm like, and Renee and I both were like sitting up like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it was perfect. And he gets them locked in except for one. One gets out and he has to have this big fight with the one, and he pulls out the spear.
Yeah.
The Beskar spear.
The Beskar spear, yeah.
And has the whole fight and then fires it up, and then it becomes a flaming one because the fire didn't actually destroy it.
Yeah, yeah.
But the others are just trying to punch their way out, and he opens up the hatch and ejects them into space, and I'm like, that's not gonna do what he thinks it's gonna do. I mean, that's not really gonna do anything to him. They're droids.
Well, it saved him some time, basically. Because it looked like he ejected all those droids out into space, and there's a sigh of relief, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I knew they were coming.
I knew they were coming back. But so in the meantime, the women are making their way to the bridge, and one of the biggest issues I had in that was when Cara Dune's gun jammed. Like, how the fuck does a laser blaster jam?
I was thinking that too. I was like, well, there's moving parts. It's just because it's not shooting ammunition doesn't mean that it's not necessarily going to be like,
There are no moving parts in a laser.
Yes, there are. There's still moving parts in a gun like that. I mean,
I don't buy it. But I liked how she was like just beating on it to fix it. She like slams it on the ground. You hear,
yeah. It should be fine now. Yeah, that's right. All right. Yeah, that was pretty funny. But I did like the fact that they were basically he was backed up by three really badass ladies, and but yeah, I mean, and then he gets into the fight with Moff Gideon. He eventually finds Moff Gideon.
Well, actually, it was four women. The two Mandos.
You're right.
Cara Dune and what's Ming-Wan Nen's character? Finn or Fen, something like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, and then he eventually does find Gideon, and Gideon's like, hey, take him. I got what I needed.
Well, yeah, he's got the Darksaber over the kid's head, and he's like,
yeah, he's like, I know you've already shot your load on the.
Assume I know everything. He's that arrogant villain.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, completely arrogant. That's actually one of the best things to put him. He's way overconfident.
Which, by the way, did you hear that his daughters were like telling him, "Don't you dare hurt Baby Yoda"?
Yeah,
and he's like, "I will gut that little green thing."
Yeah, I saw that. He responded like Gideon would.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he finds and then he's like, take him. And he's ready to like pick him up and go. And then of course Gideon hits him in the back, basically. Thanks to that. Thankfully, the Beskar armor blocks, lightsabers. But
that's the only thing the Darksaber that will stop the Darksaber is pure Beskar.
Now, see, I was wondering, like, the dark troopers were shrugging off laser blasts.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, does he use? I mean, what were they using? Beskar steel to build these?
Well, they sure as hell weren't using stormtrooper armor.
Right, exactly. But then later on, we see that they are kind of vulnerable to lightsabers. So
yes.
it wasn't Beskar steel. So whatever it was, they were shielded or something that helped them.
But he gets into a big fight with Gideon again with the spear, which that was really cool when he was like holding it up and you'd see the Darksaber hit, and if he held it there, it would start glowing red. It would
start to get hot. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it? Of course it would. I mean, it's still essentially a lightsaber is essentially a suspended blade of light. It's a laser blast held in stasis.
It's a laser sword.
Yeah. So of course it's gonna generate heat. It's gonna get hot no matter what. So, eventually it probably would have cut through the Beskar. So that's that.
But yeah, so
that shows its limitations.
There's the big fight there, and he eventually beats him, but leaves him alive.
Right. Drags him back up to the bridge, and they're like, "Oh, I guess."
And Gideon's making a big deal about the fact that he beat him, and that the Darksaber's his now.
Right. Yes, because we didn't know this, that it is basically it allows whoever holds it allows them to lay claim to what, rebuilding Mandor,
the Mandalorian throne. But yeah, that's the thing. They take him back up to the bridge, and Gideon's kind of laughing because Bo-Katan's there, and she's like, "What happened?" And he's like, we fought, blah, blah, blah. He's like, "Here." And he goes to hand her the Darksaber, and she just looks at him like, "I can't take that."
Right.
She just stares at him. And Gideon's just laughing. And he's like, "She can't take it. Mm-hmm. It can only be won in battle.
Yeah.
It's yours now. She has to defeat you." Uh-huh. He's like, "Go ahead, kill him."
Yeah. And so now they're like, "Oh, great. Now what?" So now we're going to see. Eventually, there's going to be something that's going to come down to a combat or fight or something between the two. She's going to show up at some point looking to get that sword from him.
Well, the thing is, he's like, "I yield," and Gideon's like, it doesn't work that way."
Yeah,
and he's just gloating the whole time.
Son of a bitch. But so it progresses. Some dialogue progresses, and we see. Oh.
Here come the Dark Troopers.
Yeah, we got some bogeys on the way, and the Dark Troopers they've utilized their jets or whatever their flight capability to get back to the ship, and are now trying to get back up to the bridge. And so they're all like, "Great! Now what do we do? We're fucked." One of those things gave us a problem. Gave the Mandalorian a problem. What's a whole platoon gonna do? And so then, and they're freaking out, and then we see the arrival of a single X-wing fighter.
Yep, it just comes in, and Bo-Katan's like, "X-wing, identify yourself," and there's no response.
Right. And then you're like, and at first they're like, "Oh, great, a single X-wing." To go back, it was really cool to see the interaction between Cara Dune and that one pilot from the shuttle, because he was all like, "I was there. Yeah, I was there when we destroyed your planet," like taunting them.
Oh yeah, I was on the Death Star.
Death Star. Yeah. And
Which one?
Which one? Yeah. And we can see where that little tattoo is from.
Yeah, that her tear,
because she is from Alderaan. And,
which we knew that from before, that she was from Alderaan.
Yeah, we did know that she was from Alderaan, but still, to have that whole thing confirmed, that was really fun. But anyways, so so they see it. They see the X-wing land, and they're like, "Great, what's this going to do?" And then we hear the music first.
Yes, and the music was again fucking spot on.
Right, and then we see the green lightsaber.
And it's a dark figure. He's dressed all in black with a cloak, with a black cloak that covers his head and face, so you can't see him. And he just starts wailing through these guys.
He's walking through them.
Yes,
he's walking through them. He's not. It barely gave him a fucking problem at all.
And
these Dark Troopers.
What gets me is, at one point I was watching it and it had been spoiled for me. I will say that. And it kind of pissed me off because it was the morning after. It was Saturday morning. I pulled up my phone and I looked and saw an article on Google News. And I'm like, why the fuck would you post that already? Less than 24 hours after the episode came out, they're already posting the spoiler for the end of the finale.
Yeah.
So I knew about it, but still, watching it, I did catch at one point you see the black gloved hand with the lightsaber, and then you see a regular hand on the other side, and I was like, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was fairly certain because there was a lot of speculation online of like which Jedi is going to come to get him. Some people were like, maybe it'll be Mace Windu. Maybe, I mean, we never saw a body, or maybe it'll be this, maybe it'll be that. And sure enough, you know, he opens, he defeats everybody. The doors open.
Yeah. And there's the smoke with the green lightsaber. Great fucking effects.
Oh, yeah.
Just beautiful visuals.
And it's Luke fucking
Yeah, he walks in, takes it off, and it's Luke Skywalker, a young Luke Skywalker.
Now, I'll say one of the criticisms that I will agree is that I've seen better deep fake videos.
Yes.
Where they take a person's face and
it was very mo-capped. You could definitely tell.
I mean, you could see that it was a body double. And they they somehow
I don't care.
Right. No, I still loved it. But
I would have been okay with them recasting him.
Sure. I mean,
and even Renee was saying that, they should have got Sebastian Shaw or somebody like that. I'm
Sebastian Stan.
But I'm like, he's too busy doing Winter Soldier stuff. He
could have come in for one day. One day. They didn't need him for all the Jedi shit. He could have come in for one day. It's fine. It was it still was really great, though, to see Luke say, I'll take him and I'll train him. He needs to be trained or he'll never be safe.
Well, and then that ending, man.
And he took his helmet off for Grogu so that Grogu could see what he looks like.
And Grogu's like reaching out and touching his face. And I saw a thing online and it showed like when boys cried, and it was like a certain scene from Star Wars, when men cried, and it was, I think, the death of Vader. And then it was when Legends cried, and it was that scene with Grogu reaching up at his face.
It was rough, man. I mean, I got emotional. I didn't cry, but I got emotional.
I felt a little. I felt a little right here.
Got a little bit in the.
It pulled
a little bit clamped. Got a little bit clamped.
It pulled the heartstrings. It was well done.
It was.
It was an emotional moment.
Yeah, it was. It was great, and I think.
And then R2 coming in. Now there are.
It's so awesome.
There are rumors online that the whole reason that R2 comes in when he sees him and he reacts the way he does
is that he knew him.
Is that he knows him, and that R2 is the one that saved him from Order 66. That's the rumor online, is that R2 is actually the one that saved him.
Awesome. I'd love to see more. I want to see more. I mean, my guess is that the next chapter of The Mandalorian is not going to have Grogu in it at all.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if it will or not. That's the whole because the third season is already planned.
Yeah,
so we don't know what.
They've also said that unfortunately, that let's see, Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau reveals season 3 release date is after the Book of Boba Fett. The Mandalorian season 3 is going into pre-production as the Book of Boba Fett enters production. Now, the Book of Boba Fett hasn't even started production yet. So
they were saying that Mandalorian season 3 would be December of 2021. That's the plan. So we have a full year to wait.
It says, well, the showrunner revealed on Good Morning America that, as was previously reported, the Boba Fett series is currently in production and will arrive in December of 21. So a year.
So the Book of Boba Fett will be in December 21.
And so we won't see probably the next chapter of Mandalorian until 22.
Which, that was the other thing, though. Staying through the credits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It was so cool to see Bib Fortuna sitting on that fucking
throne. Huge. He had definitely indulged himself. I mean, he was like on his way to becoming a Hutt.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just become a Hutt. That's a race, you know.
Yeah, I know, but he was trying.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that when what's her name, when Fen steps in or whatever her name is, when she steps in, I'm like, don't stand there.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I'm like, what are you doing? She knew where she was standing. And I was like, and then he comes in and Bibford just, Boba, we thought you were dead. Bam, gone. You know, it was just like, I love that it was all subtitled, you know, because he didn't speak.
Yep. Do you notice the Gamorreans are not nearly as fat as they were in the 80s?
I did. I noticed that too. Yeah.
They've been on like a slimming plan. They're on a health kick.
Yeah. So it appears that we will get no Mandalorian in 21, just Boba Fett with Din Djarin returning early in 22. So, I mean, honestly, the Book of Boba Fett is going to be kind of, it'll be a separate show, but it's kind of got to be like season 2.5 of The Mandalorian. So, I think, we are going to, it's going to be a while before we see more Star Wars on Disney Plus. But we've got a bunch of Marvel things that keep us warm. We might even see some, I would imagine like the Andor show, because they're working on it now. Maybe we'll see that later in 21.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we're gonna get some.
Yeah, they didn't give a whole lot of serious dates on a lot of this stuff, but that ending was so amazing. Now, they can go, there's nowhere to go but up from here, you know.
Yeah, it really was just those last two episodes were just absolutely incredible, and Favreau wrote the last one.
Yes, he did.
And I still say, kick Kathleen Kennedy's ass to the curb and give Favreau and Filoni full control of the future of Star Wars.
Well, she's leaving, you know. They've already said that she's leaving, and maybe they will. They've proven that they can do some really great stuff. Like, I saw this great meme that was like, showed J.J. Abrams saying there's no way to make something new and
that they'll make the old fans happy and still bring in new audience.
And there was a picture of Favreau and she said, "Hold my beer."
Yep. I thought that was great.
It's true. Because he has done an amazing job.
He really has. Him and Filoni. Filoni gets a lot of credit too, because Filoni has done a lot of the work too. Well, did you see the thing about that? Favreau was critically injured.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, from
he had spinal injuries along with a double hernia
from the
immense lifting the immense weight of the Star Wars universe out of the hole that it was in.
Yeah, exactly. I heard the same thing about Pablo Pascal as well. He's like, Pablo Pascal experiencing back problems from carrying the weight of Star Wars on his shoulders. So, but we should probably wrap.
Yeah, we should wrap things up.
We've gone a little over because we had a lot of Star Wars stuff to talk about tonight, but it was well worth it. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on. We had a good number. We had upwards of like 7 or 8 people watching the show tonight. It was really great. CD, thanks for joining us again as usual.
Yep, and being active in the chat too.
Being active in the chat. Thanks, Auntie Dawn. Thanks for swinging by again as well. We love seeing and Rich as well. We love seeing and having
and Renee. Thank you, Renee.
Talking. Renee is always there, and we love having her. Thanks for chiming in and with the science because we need it. And guys, hey, have a great Christmas. Have a great holiday. We will be on next week and it'll be our last show for the year.
Yep.
Right before New Year, and just remember, like, hey, there's light. It's always darkest before the dawn. We've got light on the horizon. We have a new group of people going to be in the White House. We have new people going to be taking care of the government. Thankfully, hopefully, it's still got a lot of work. We still got a lot of work to do, but hopefully things are going to get better. And we've got these vaccines on the way.
Yep.
And hopefully things are going to keep getting better. and hopefully we'll be in the same room again.
Yes, that's a hope. My brother posted a thing though that basically said, and I think I might have mentioned this last week. Just wait till 2020 turns 21 and starts drinking.
Oh yeah. Because I'm gonna buy 2021 a drink with the first chance I get. Did you see those Match.com ads with Satan dating 2020?
Yes.
That was some funny shit. I got a props to Match.com. That was some hilarious stuff. Are you 2020? Just call me 2020.
Well, I saw Ryan Reynolds is the one I saw that actually had posted that. And
did he?
Yeah.
Oh man, some really funny stuff. So I mean,
I don't think it was actually Match. It wasn't actually Match that did it.
No, it's Match.com, man. That's a real Match.com ad. It was Satan matching up with 2020, and whoever did the makeup to look very similar to
Tim Curry and Legend.
Tim Curry and Legend, and it's so fucking good. So anyway, guys, we gotta move on.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. Guys, remember you can download and stream us on all the places you can find quality podcasting. Guys, we are on iTunes, we're on the Google Play Store, what equates to that. We are on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, radio.com, and of course, you can download and stream all of our episodes at nerdswithalcoholshow.com. We are on 8 o'clock every Tuesday night on Twitch, on Drinking Nerds, and of course, you can also we put those episodes up on Drinking Nerds on YouTube a few days later.
Yep. And you can also follow us on most of the social medias. We're on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter at Drinking Nerds, Instagram, Drinking Nerds. We are still on Untapped, Drinking Nerds. You can send us friend requests. We'll get you added, although I'm not on there nearly like I should be. Also a reminder, this Friday there will be no show. No Friday Night Firefight or Tavern Nights, as it will be Christmas, and the same will be for next week on New Year's Day. There will not be a show.
Right. We did consider possibly doing a Tavern Nights show for New Year's Day, but then we went, nah, we'll do it the week after.
Yeah, we're going to do it the week after. You'll be back on January 8th for that. I will be doing the Sunday morning Star Wars these next couple of weeks on Sunday morning, 11 a.m., that's my plan. These next 2 weeks, I actually should finish up the Sith Warrior storyline, not this week, but the following week. So
right, I'm going to eventually get Chris to show me exactly what entails Twitch streaming, so that I can maybe get in on this. As much as I'd like to Twitch stream City Heroes, apparently I don't believe I'm allowed to. I think because of the I've seen like some of the other guys that were doing it, they were basically told that they weren't allowed to because of the fact that
it's technically not a legal game.
Right, exactly. It's a game that people are brought back, and as long as nobody's making money on it, the company's okay with it. But I've got a lot of other games that
Yeah.
By the way, Chris, I downloaded Total War Warhammer 2 on Steam. Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking cool. You might want to check it out.
Okay. Yeah, that's one I've looked at. The other one I've been thinking about is actually streaming Cyberpunk. I was concerned about that because of all the nudity and stuff that's in it, but it's one of the games that Twitch is actually making an exception for. As long as you don't focus on the nudity and make it a big part of your game, then as long as it can be part of it. Because I mean, one of the first things you do is save a chick that's naked in a tub of ice.
Right. So, I was thinking about if I could maybe stream Conan Exiles, which is one of those games that has a lot of nudity in it. If you have the nudity filters cranked down.
Yeah, we'll have to check. We'd have to check on that one to see what Twitch's stance is on that.
Otherwise, I got a bunch of games. I got a ton of games. I got a lot of games.
A lot of games. Huge amount of games.
Huge games. Huge amounts of games.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap things up then.
Yeah, let's go. I'm hungry.
Well, you should
I gotta eat. I gotta eat something. All
right. Well, then I think on that note. Until next time. Sláinte.
Awesome. Great.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Happy holidays, everybody.